Good evening and welcome to the clinic. You're here for your ADHD assessment tonight, is that correct? Perfect. Well, my name is Dr. Late Night and I will be conducting your assessment this evening. Perfect, okay. So we're going to begin with some basic screening questions, and then we will do a variety of different tests to see if potentially you have ADHD. Okay? Absolutely. So starting off, I have 6 different questions for you, okay? And for each of these questions, you're going to tell me if this never applies to you, if this is not relevant to your life, if it rarely is, if it sometimes is, if it often is, or very often, okay? So let me read out the first question to you and it will make a little bit more sense, okay? So, how often do you have trouble wrapping up the final details of a project once the challenging parts have been done? So your answers could be never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often. How much do you feel that applies to you? Okay, great. So you get the gist now. Okay, we have 5 more of these and then we will move on. Okay. How often do you have difficulty getting things in order when you have to do a task that requires organization? So again, your options are never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often. Okay. Just try to answer these to the best of your ability. This is not foolproof. If you answer very often or never for all of them, doesn't necessarily mean that you have or do not have ADHD. This is just a basic screening so we can get an idea as to whether or not you may have it. Okay? Great. Third question. How often do you have problems remembering appointments or obligations? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often. Okay. Okay. Number 4. When you have a task that requires a lot of thought, how often do you avoid or delay getting started? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often. Okay. Great. Alright. Next question. How often do you fidget or squirm with your hands or feet when you have to sit down for a long time? Do you feel restless often when you have to sit down for a long time? Okay. Alrighty. You're doing very well. Just one more question and then we will get into the tests. Okay. Great. Final question. How often do you feel overly active and compelled to do things like you were driven by a motor? Overly active and compelled to do things. So never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often. What do you think? Okay, great. Alrighty, so based on your answers here, I do think potentially that you could have ADHD, but again, we will go more in depth with the upcoming test to see if you may or may not. Okay. Great. Alrighty. Okay. So I have your first test prepared here. Alright. So if you will just observe these two images, there are 10 differences between the two images, although they look similar at first glance. There are 10 differences. So I want you to try to find as many of the differences as you can. Okay, so I'm going to give you a moment to observe this, and then we will go over them together. There are 2 teapots here. There's a bit of a nature background. Some coffee, some candy, pencils, leaves. I'm just going to give you a moment to look at it. What do you think? Yep, there are 10. Now you see a few. Have you noticed all of them? Or do you need another minute? Okay. How about we go over them together? Okay, and I will number them as we go. Alright. Let's see. The first one that I see is that this coffee is dark. This liquid is dark, so I'm assuming it's coffee or tea. Whereas this liquid is clear. Okay, so we're gonna just put a little 1, a little 1 right next to the coffee cup. Okay. Now, another difference that I see here is these 2 candies. One of them has a different wrapping than the other. So we'll put a little 2 right there. Okay, can you still see it? Okay, very good. Now, working our way through the image, these candies also have different wrappings. Okay, so mark that as a 3. Let's see here. The next difference that I've noticed is these pencils are oriented differently. So that is number 4. Okay. Do you see the next one? The top of this teapot has different markings. Okay, so that is number 5. Good. Let's see what else we have here. I see 6 and 7. These 2 leaves are oriented differently. Okay, so we'll mark this as 6 and 7. So there are 3 more. Let's see if we can find them. Okay, I see that the butterfly or dragonfly, whatever this little insect is in different places. Okay, so that will be our number 8. Do you see the last 2? Yes, this background is totally different on each image. So the sun is in a different position. So that'll be our number 9. Okay. And number 10 is right next to it. The cloud. Very good. That is number 10. Okay. Did you find all of those? You did great. Okay. Moving on to our next test. Okay. Next, we're going to test your short-term memory. Okay. So I'm going to read you a very short story. It is only a few sentences. Okay. But there are quite a few details in there for you to try to remember. So I want you to listen carefully. Alright. Okay. And I will be asking some comprehension questions afterwards. So just listen closely. Are you ready? Okay. Kelly and Bernard have been married for 12 years. Bernard works at a bank and Kelly is a dentist. Every Tuesday, the couple goes out to lunch at their favorite restaurant, Los Pollos Hermanos, for delicious fried chicken. Afterward, they take a walk in the local park and return home around 7 p.m. Okay. Now I have some questions for you about what you just heard. Okay. What were the names of the 2 people in the story? Good. Kelly and Bernard. What is Kelly's job? What is her occupation? Yes, a dentist. Very good. On what day of the week do Kelly and Bernard go out to lunch? Tuesday. Excellent. You're doing well. Just a couple more questions, okay? How long have Kelly and Bernard been married? Great. 12 years. 12 years. Final question. What is the name of Kelly and Bernard's favorite restaurant? Los Pollos Hermanos, the Chicken Brothers. Very good. Alrighty, that is all for your little comprehension test. Okay. It's to test reading comprehension, or rather listening comprehension and short-term memory. You did very well with that one. Okay. So your next test is going to be related to auditory processing, which some individuals with ADHD have trouble with. Okay. So do you find yourself asking people to repeat themselves often, even if they're talking directly to you? Okay. So maybe it's loud enough for you to hear, they're looking right at you, but for some reason the words just don't sound quite right and you can't make out what they're saying. Okay, gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you for answering my questions. So for this next test, I'm going to say some phrases and some sentences to you. And what I want you to do is just listen very carefully, because there will be some sounds that will play at the same time, trying to distract you, okay? So really pay attention to the best of your abilities to what I am saying. Ready? First sentence. I am going to the store today. Could you repeat that back to me, please? Okay, and on a scale from 1 to 10, how hard was that for you to comprehend? Great, okay. Next sentence. Purple people eater. Okay, would you repeat that back to me, please? Great. And on a scale from 1 to 10, if you could rank how difficult that was to comprehend. Excellent, okay. Next phrase. Oh, brother. Go ahead and repeat that back to me. Good. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how difficult was that for you to comprehend? Great, okay. And again. 1, 2, 3, 7, 46, 42. Would you repeat that back to me? Excellent. And again, on a scale from 1 to 10, how difficult was that for you to comprehend? Excellent, okay. And one more time. Are you ready? I went to the mall to get a new candle from Bath and Body Works. Excellent, okay. And one more time, on a scale from 1 to 10, how difficult was that for you to comprehend? Okay, great. You did very well with that portion of the exam. Alright, moving on to our next test. What I'm going to do is say a series of random objects, things, just randomness, okay? But what I want you to do is listen closely, and every time I say an animal, I want you to raise your hand as quickly as you can, okay? But for everything else, just ignore it and don't react, okay? So just raise your hand for the animal as soon as you hear it. Ready? Purple, 42, chicken, dumpling, dog, cat, asparagus, phone, light, movie, TV show, jaguar, asparagus, 23, circumference, perpendicular, 49, 47, cat. Good, okay. And again. Donkey, car, road, truck, tree, squirrel, 49, 42, 103, fish, good, dove, 9, black, blue, yellow, canary, 73, 41, 92, German shepherd, orange tabby, blossom, fruit, strawberry, circle, square, 1, 4, 9, 7, pig. Very good. And just a few more. Are you paying attention? 3, 9, 3, 9. Lion, tiger, bear, 74, 79. Very, very good job. I know that seemed a little bit random, but my job is to try to throw you off and see how well you can engage and react. Great, you did very, very well with that test. Alrighty, you have done very, very well. I have one final test for you, okay? How are you doing? Great, very good. So what I need you to do is look straight at my nose. Keep looking at my nose. No matter what I do not get distracted, okay? So what I will be doing is flashing different colored lights in your peripheral vision, and I don't want you to look at them. Keep looking at my nose. However, whenever you see the green light, just say yes as soon as you see it. Yes, very good. And how about now? Yes, very good. Okay. For any other color, I want you to ignore it. Okay. Great. And again, keep looking at my nose. Don't look away, or else that is an F, a fail. Okay. Are you ready? Good. Great. Good. 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 Okay. Okay. Keep looking at my nose. Don't get distracted. Great. Good. Still looking at my nose. Excellent, excellent job. Okay. You have done incredibly well with this test. I'm going to have to punch in all of the numbers, all of my findings, as I can't give you a diagnosis absolutely today, but I can tell you that you did very, very well with these tests, and I don't have any concerns. Okay. Excellent. Well, that concludes your ADHD examination for today. I thank you so much for coming into the clinic. Please don't hesitate to come back for any of your medical or mental health needs, okay? Alrighty. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you so much. Good night.